a couple things on how you define significance. The way that the world defines significance is it's the quality of being important, meaningful, or impactful. It refers to a degree to which something or someone is considered worthy of attention, recognition, or of values. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Success and Significance Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Newman, and I'm honored that you have taken the time to spend a few minutes with me today. Hey, do me a favor, go ahead and click subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode so that you can continue to fight for success to pour out for significance. So today, what we're going to be talking about is the latter part of the podcast name, which is significance. We're just going to spend a few minutes talking about what is significance, how do we define it, why is it important to our lives, and then also at the end, I'll have a significance framework that I think will help you. If you've been living for significance, it will help you kind of process that in. But if you have not been living for significance, then this will help you and it will provide a great place for you to start. A couple things on how you define significance. The way that the world defines significance is it's the quality of being important, meaningful, or impactful. It refers to a degree to which something or someone is considered worthy of attention, recognition, or of values. And hey, listen, in essence, what that means is that it means that you have value and that also that you are making a meaningful contribution to the world. And I've said this probably a couple times that I've never met anyone in any restaurant, in any meeting that I've been a part of, that where they've not wanted to be successful. And then the other flip side of that is that the world is full of a multi-billion-dollar industry right now of self-help. And really what that self-help is pointing to, the self-help books, the self-help seminars, it's helping people find their purpose. And so to me, the word significance is purpose. And so a couple things that I've been able to find. The hard part about defining significance is that it's subjective. So meaning what's purpose for me may not be purpose for you. And to tell you the truth, that's why as we define significance, as we look into purpose, and then we look at nonprofits in the United States, there's over 1.5 million nonprofits in the U.S., which is great. There's a lot of people that are living life for significance. And I want to be clear that you don't have to have a nonprofit to live a life of significance. And so for me, that's where I stumbled upon this. And I've been the last 15 years truly trying to figure out how to live a life of significance. And it is. So significance is subjective. It really depends on your perspective at the moment in time. And it also has to deal with your feelings. And everybody knows we're an emotional human being, that your feelings can move from one way to the other. And I think that's why so many people have a hard time defining what true significance means in their life. The other part is significance. The way that I'm trying to boil it all down to the simplistic form is that it often involves making a difference, leaving a legacy. And the legacy piece is key. And the fact is that most people don't want to think about the legacy because we're too distracted in the here and the now. And the legacy, it makes you look way down the road, and success is right here, right in front of your face. And we talked about that on the last podcast. The thing that I've been able to find is success. This is how I've tried to define it. And success is leading with your head, and significance is leading with your heart. In business, and I've said this before, and I really found this out when I started Rock Solid Foundation, the longest distance in the human body when you're trying to do something of significance is between the head and the heart. And what I mean by that is the success is here, right? We want to learn to be successful. There's nothing wrong with being successful. I hope and pray that you make millions of dollars so that you can take care of your family. You can buy all the cars that you want. You can get the boats that you want. But then also don't lose yourself in chasing all of that, but you're able to find significance in the meantime. Success is leading with your head. Significance is leading with your heart. And when I first started Rock Solid Foundation, we were probably 2 years into the organization. and I wanted to take over the world. Like, I was chasing success. I was still bringing the emotion that I had from losing everything in my construction business to starting what I started with Rock Solid Foundation. And I launched too early. So we were partnered with one hospital in in Norfolk. And then we started a partnership with another hospital in Northern Virginia. And so everything about me chasing success was like, all right, let's go. Let's rock and roll. That's what my head was saying. Like, I know this idea is going to work. But then the heart side of me was chasing it. I'm like, we're going to partner with 30 hospitals in the first year. Now, if anybody's ever started a business, you know that your anticipation of what you can do in the first year is we tend to over-exaggerate that. But what we think we can do over a lifetime, we underperform on that side. And so with this, we partnered with a hospital, and then I ended up, because I was following with my heart, we ended up having to back out of that hospital. And the significance for us backing out of that hospital is that the fact is that these families got used to us providing hope for them in a certain capacity. And I was chasing life with just significance only and not worrying about the success component, which is how are we going to pay for it? How are we going to fund it? Who's going to pack the bags? So all of that made me, at the very end of this, I had to choose between continuing to pour out this program that I partnered with this hospital, or was I going to continue did I have to back out and then not provide the service? And at the end of the day, I had to not provide the service so that Rock Solid Foundation would soon be there. And that's what I mean by success is leading with your head, significance is leading with your heart. And at the end of the day, the bottom line of success and significance, it's a yes and model. It's not a either or model. See, the world in my leadership, as I've grown as a leader, I've always thought that it had to be my way or the highway. It had to be an either or. But the reality is it's a yes and. And I don't have all the answers. And if you just pour out and you chase success, I promise you, you're going to lose yourself in the meantime. But if you only chase significance, you're going to end up going bankrupt, and you're not going to be able to pour out significance anymore. So then success and significance is a yes and, not a either or. I found a couple quotes on just the things that I could relate to the act of being significant. Steve Jobs once said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, don't settle. And with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it." And that's the thing. Significance is the heart piece behind it, and success is the head piece. Another quote, Albert Einstein, "The value of a man should be seen in what he gives and not in what he is able to receive." That's super powerful. And the other quote from Martin Luther King, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you going to do for others? That right there for me is the essence of the centerpiece of what significance is. Success is I, significance is we. And what I mean by that is, like, success, you got to have it, right? We've already talked about that. But significance is, what are you doing for other people? So I did some research. Why do most people not live for significance? That most people stop because it's a matter of the heart, that they don't slow down long enough to examine the heart. And the thing about the heart, and what I mean by that, yes, the heart is a muscle, but what I'm talking about, the heart is the mindset, the caring part of a human, is most people don't stop to reflect or to work on the matters of the heart. Why? Because the heart is the hard work. And so it's easy to ignore the heart work, but then it's just like going by in a mirror. Most people don't stop in the mirror. Why? Because they don't like what they see. That's the same part of when you do heart work. It's a reflection of what you're truly pouring out. But they don't want to do the heart work, and the heart work is the hard part. People think that they have to wait to live for life of significance, that they have to just chase success nonstop, and then they have to just wait at the end of their life to be able to pour out significance. And I'm here to tell you that no one is guaranteed tomorrow. So why wait? Why does it have to be either or? Why can't it be a yes and? And then the other part that I believe that people don't live a life of significance is because they think that you have to be a millionaire. At the end of the day, they think that you have to have a bunch of money to change the world or to live a life of significance, to pour out impact on another human, which is the farthest thing from the truth. is the fact of the matter is, like, when I first started Rock Solid, is that I would go to attorneys, I would go to CPAs, I would go to all these people, and they would tell me that only millionaires started nonprofits. And it would just piss me off to no end. And I'm like, why does it have to be this way? Because what they were looking at was not the same perspective, subjective. They were not feeling the same thing, and they were not looking at the same thing that I was. So I'm here to tell you, you don't have to have millions of dollars to be able to change the world and to live a life of significance. So how do I define significance? And how I define significance is I have to also define success. And success is I, and significance is we. And so success is I, like, who am I? Where am I going? What do I believe? I have to make sure that the I is still taken care of so that I can pour out more to the we. Well, who are the we? It's my family. It's the community that I've chosen to love and serve. It's my church family. The we can be a baseball team. It doesn't matter. But remember last time, you got to focus on the me to lead the we. Success is I, significance is we, and significance is designed and meant to pour out. So for me, what does it look like? Contribution of money. I love to give our money to the charities that we are selected to be a part of. And then the other part is pouring out wisdom to the next generation is how I define significance. And it goes back to scripture that it talks about. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about pouring out your talents. Well, most people, yes, it refers to money, but also how I reflect on that pouring out significance is pouring out the wisdom. And so I've been given wisdom from a lot of mentors over the last 15 years, and I just want to pour out that information, that wisdom that I've been given to the next generation. The other part of what does significance look like to me, it's following Jesus, to live as closely to him and to understand how he lived and how he walked this earth. And sharing the gospel too is significance to me. And it was a great quote by Francis Assisi once said, "Share the gospel at all times, and when necessary, use words." So significance to me is not just flooding the world with all the words because God knows that I can talk a lot, but it's also creating the action that other people can see the love of my faith. And so for me, significance, at the end of the day, significance is action. And so with all of that, remember, success is I, significance is we. So we're going to jump into, so Eric, like, listen, if you're listening, you're like, all right, this significance thing sounds amazing. I want to try to do it. I have no idea where to start. And so what I do is I have a framework that I live by, and I want to share just some of the framework with you right now. The first step in the significance framework is self-reflection. You have to be able to carve out enough time. Remember, success keeps us super busy. But significance, you have to set out the time to be able to reflect. You have to create that dedicated space. Now, some of you may want to try to do that in the morning, or you're like, absolutely not. I got to get the kids to school. I start work at 4:30 in the morning. That's okay. Do it in the evening. Do it in the afternoon. Do it underneath the moon. It does not matter as long as you reflect and you take the time to do it. You're going to have to prioritize it. This is not going to come easy. Remember, we talked about looking in the mirror. The hard work is the hard work. You're going to have to prioritize the time. You're going to have to reflect. What I mean by reflect is what's important to you. What are the values that you hold true? What are the principles or qualities that you hold the closest to you in this entire world? Those are some of the questions that you can ask. The other thing is, what brings me joy and fulfillment? In this life of significance that we're trying to do, like, you don't want it to be boring. Why? Because if it's boring, it's not going to be consistent. So you're going to have to write down, like, if you're stepping into this journey of significance, what brings you fulfillment and what brings you joy. And I promise you, you can have fun and change the world all at the same time. And in that self-reflection moment, what I would encourage you to do, there's a question that I always ask is, what do I want to be known for? And so with my kids, what do I want to be known for? Do I want to be known that daddy was always in the office, that didn't have enough time for me, or daddy would come home, put his phone in the drawer, the kitchen drawer, and then be able to sit with them, play baseball, play catch, whatever season of life that you're in? For me right now, the main focus, the priority for me is my family, because my kids are younger and that they're extremely active in sports. So at the end of the day, in the reflection part, if you only get one question, what do you want to be known for? And if you reflect on that, I promise you that will point you in the direction of significance. So step one, reflection. Step two You need to explore the opportunities for impact. And what I mean by that is like in this reflection time, and when you sit there, look around and look at like if there's a homeless shelter down the street, or if you're looking for a new job, right? And you're not happy with where you are right now, and you're starting to look for a new job. Please, 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 before you even apply or accept a position, make sure you look at their values and then see what they're doing in the community. Because yes, you want a successful company. Do not get me wrong. You want to put your faith in a successful company to where you know it will create longevity. But the other thing is, you want to make sure that you have a successful company and that they're doing something worth value in the community. You don't want them just to be gobbling up everything. The golden halo is what it's called kind of in corporate America, is a real thing. So as you're prioritizing and you're looking, exploring for impact, and you're looking for a job, make sure that you do your research to see what that company is doing in the community before you're able to take the position. For me, the explore of opportunities, because I want it to be fun and I want it to be the things that I'm passionate about, is I spend a lot of time with my family. I love, love, love baseball. And so my wife and I, we spend a lot of time at the baseball field. I spend some time coaching. I also give money to the Little League Rec. Why? Because that's a priority, and that's where I can pour out significance because it's meaningful to me. I love building things. So if you're listening and you love to build things and you're exploring opportunities, Habitat for Humanity is a great place to go and build. Your local nonprofits are always going to need cabinets built. And I know this is geared towards a lot of nonprofit talk, but if you like building things, heck, like come to Rock Solid Foundation and help us build a place set. There's always a way. If you like to work with your hands, every organization out there needs something built. You just have to prioritize it. You have to explore it, and you have to find it. The next thing is, so for exploring the opportunities, Google it. And spend some time. Go volunteer. Go to a local church. Go to a local food shelter. Help serve the food. And guess what? Not every single experience at the beginning is going to be the right fit. It's just like trying on shoes. Try on something new. Find something you like, right? I love shoes. So I find a pair of shoes that I like. Each shoe fits a little bit different. So then make sure you try it on. And if you don't like it, don't give up on shoes. That would be dumb. That's like for me, if I don't like the pair of shoes or it doesn't fit right, I'm like, oh, I'm just done with shoes and I'm going to walk around without wearing shoes. No, make sure that you prioritize. And if your first couple of experiences are not the best, do not give up and be consistent at making sure that you're chasing impact. The last one is to take action. So first, self-reflection. Number 2, explore opportunities for impact and to take action. And when you take actions, what I would encourage you to do, write down. So as you're reflecting, as you're exploring impact, write down what it is that you want to do. So people give really in 3 ways in this world. Significance. How you pour out significance. You give your time, you give your talents, or you give your treasures, which is your money. So if you want the framework of what does significance look like? It's your time, talent, and treasures poured out to someone else. So make sure when you're in this goal setting, taking action, set clear, precise goals and be very like optimistic, but also what I would encourage you to do, start small. I have the tendency of like, oh, I'm going to change the world. Just like I told you with building for all these hospitals and all of this stuff that we wanted to do with Rock Solid Foundation, I should have just kept it small and that would have prevented a lot of failure. But so when you're taking action, start volunteering on a Saturday or volunteer after work at a kickball league or a little league baseball or a food shelter. Start small. And then from there, build in your capacity, because I promise you one thing, as you start to live this life of significance, what you're going to find, the more that you pour out, you will get in return more than you could have ever imagined. So yes, you're pouring out your money, you're pouring out your time, you're pouring out your treasures, but at the end of the day, you're going to receive tenfold of anything that you poured out if it's something that you find fulfillment in, if it's something that you prioritize, and if you've been consistent at it. So please, in the taking action, start small, set your goals, and be consistent. Now, that's a lot of information in a very short amount of time, but I do believe that living a life of significance, pouring out your time, your talents, and your treasures is the best way to go. Success and significance, they have to coexist. Success is I, significance is we. So what are we going to do about it? Significance is about you pouring out what you've been given through your efforts of success and making the world a better place. Hey guys, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I do not take this lightly. I hope that you are being poured into, figuring out ways that we can be successful to pour out significance. And I am your host, Eric Newman. I hope to see you next time on the Success and Significance podcast. Do me a favor, click subscribe, and we'll see you next time.